Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into an exciting tutorial where we'll talk about the use of Claude and Claude Code, a powerful AI from Anthropic, to analyze and improve your current application's code setup. Whether it's debugging, optimizing, or just curious about what Claude can do, this video will walk you through the process step by step and kind of show you what you can do with it to start out. There will be other videos in the series that will allow you to get more of a deep dive. This is more of an introduction. So grab your application and let's get after it. All right, so I'm just going to start with one of the applications that we've built in a previous video. I'm just going to install Claude, or walk you through installing Claude since I've already done it. And then I'll walk through the process of what you can use Claude for to analyze your application. So let's take a look at it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your favorite IDE. In this case, I have IntelliJ. I'm going to go ahead and do settings, and I'm going to make sure that I have it installed. So the first thing you want to do is kind of come in here and let's see what we have. So Claude Code, that's the one that's listed on many of the websites. So I went ahead and installed this one just to make sure that it worked correctly. As you can see, it is been installed, but you'll have to install it, and what you'll have to do is go out to Claude and actually sign up. The free version doesn't give you much, so you can use Claude for free through the web, but that won't come in and kind of give you the functionality that I think you're trying to look for when you get to this point. So you would have to sign up. I think the lowest rate is about 20 bucks a month at the time of this video. I think you can get, if you pay for the whole year, you can get it for $17 as of right now. But for our purposes, I've been signed up. I actually use this. So I'm going to go ahead and, since I've already got it, just open it here. And what this provides is a UI to start with. So from here, you can actually do quite a few things. So the first thing I want to do is, let's just take a look at what it provides out the gate. So let's say you're taking a look at an application you've never seen before and you don't really know what it does. So the first thing you can do is ask it to describe it. Kind of a simple start to what do we want to see out of here? What can it help me with? So what does this application do? Let's see what it tells us. So this should go out, analyze the code base, take a look at all the different files, and try to tell you what is actually going on within this application, which might be useful, especially if you're just starting out taking a look at an application for the first time. Let's see how it did. So you can see that it was reading those individual files, and obviously if there's thousands of classes in this project, it's going to take a while. But this one's a simple one, so you at least get a feel for it. So reads a pizza order file from a directory. Yep, that's exactly what it does. Publishes orders to a Kafka topic. Stores the orders in a MySQL database. Okay, fairly simplistic, fairly straightforward. Nothing too fancy there. So what's another thing that you might want to do? Show me the code that reads the file. This way it can kind of point you to the kind of the entry point, the starting point of where you're at. And in this case, because this is a camel file or camel framework, this is the line of code that it is actually doing. And it tells you where it's at, line 15 in the router. So obviously at that point, you've got to know where it is. So at this point, you've got to kind of know where it is, or you can just go ahead and find it. In this case, we want pizza router in the org examples. Here it is. And this one is stating that it was on line 15. Line 15, here it is. So here's the entry point, which is exactly correct. So it kind of helps you navigate, get to things pretty quick. Can very much be a help, especially when you've got thousands and thousands of lines of code. This can be very beneficial to get you started and get you rolling in the code very quickly. The other piece that kind of comes in handy when you're trying to initialize or start up a project or start your endeavor into analyzing a project is I want to run this thing. So let's go ahead and, you can see there's some Docker Compose here. So I actually did come in here and remove something out. So I want to see how this handles it. I think I can just basically tell it, can you start the application using the Docker Compose and analyze any errors. All right, let's see what happens. So I'm interested here because I did go in and actually remove the MySQL out of the startup for the Docker Compose. So it should fail on the startup. I'm kind of curious if we can actually make it find it and fix it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this handles it. And believe it or not, I have not done this before. So we'll all see what it does together. Okay, so interesting enough, it analyzed it. It found the error while it was starting up. This is actually pretty cool. So as it was starting up, it actually found where the issues are presented. So in this case, it's giving me a solution to add MySQL services to the Compose. So let's go ahead and start that up, and let's see if this actually fixes the problem. You know what? I'm kind of curious. I bet I can just type in the number 1. Let's do that. 1. So it did recognize that I wanted number 1 done. Open the changes. You want to see? Yes, I do. And there we go. So it did show me which ones it added. And we can come up here and see the diff that it would have added. So it added the volumes. And it added the MySQL at the top. So there we go. Everything has been put in. Okay, so what we've seen here, let's just go back and kind of take a look at what all it's done. So the first service it did, or first thing it did, was it determined that I meant number 1 from my solutions, which is pretty cool. And then it went in and actually added the portion to the services that was needed to start up MySQL in a Docker container. Then it went in and determined that we also needed the volume specified in the Docker Compose file also. At that point, it's added everything I would have imagined would have been done with my application. So now what we should be able to do is start up the application using the Docker Compose locally. Okay, so at this point you can see that it is actually outputting some of the output directly onto the Claude Code console. And it's indicated that all the services are running, so let's go double check. And look at that. They're all up there and running now. So that worked great. So just to conclude, I mean, this is just an intro. Obviously, there's a lot more we can do with this, and we will. But I wanted to at least point out and show where the starting point is with some of this stuff. A lot of times, it's just utilized as a kind of a minor tool to maybe describe something or add a little bit of code here and there. But I have a feeling that people are going to be surprised at how much value Claude Code can bring to the table, how much more efficient it can make things, as well as how it can integrate with different services. I mean, the point here is imagine a an environment where developers literally only there to verify what's going on in a system. And all of this happens very quickly. It auto-detected certain changes that needed to be made. Yes, I asked it to do it, but the point was I just started it up and it literally recognized that something wasn't starting correctly and it told me exactly how to fix it. That is amazing. And I think as we get deeper into this, you're going to see a lot more value out of what this brings to the table. Because think about things like Jira tickets automatically getting processed by Claude Code and then updating the code and allowing a developer, then all they have to do is double check to make sure that it didn't break anything. We can also use it to write tests. So we can automate some of those integration tests. Code can be done so much faster. And then it becomes a developer's job to, one, know how to prompt the system to make sure that you get what you want, but also to analyze what's going on behind the scenes, because you don't want to it's not strong enough yet to just do it, right? So you really have to have an experienced developer behind the scenes who can sit there and look at it. But this provides the capability for companies to do more with less. And I think the power of this is staggering, and it's only going to get more powerful as we go. So, to jump into this stuff and learn this stuff is going to be critical from a developer standpoint. So I look forward to doing more of these videos for you guys, and I hope you guys come along for the ride. We'll see you soon. Bye.